Skirt, skirt. Told you we always been ready. I don't need people that's petty, that weigh on me heavy while I'm being steady. I need a record with Felly. We get it bouncing like Betty's, I feel like I'm Nelly. Don't bring the beef like a deli. It's leaving not levy, no sleeping on me like I'm Freddy. Chris Breeze, how I do, hit him with the moves. Left hand step back, ballin' like I'm Coos. All faith, God's plan, you just gotta choose. God slaps, nothing left to prove. Y'all gotta leave me alone. Lately I've been in my zone. Told him no cap like I fitted, but lately the flows have been straight off the dome. I feel like I'm MVP, like my name Patty Mahomes. If it ain't about money, don't hit up my phone, cause lately I've been in my zone.
Hello, welcome to the Cowboy Show, hosted by Ben Carey and Nick Gronerad, combining expert human opinions with cutting-edge simulation models to help you arrive at the best picks each week. Inside Edge Community. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to today's stream. As I'm sure most of you are well aware, we are joined for the second time on stream. It can't have gone that bad the first time. Since he's back, we have Mr. Krabs Bets himself. Krabs, how's it going today?
It's going pretty well, my man. Thanks for having me on again. I love the card today, which is really good. I tweeted last night that I love the card 10 times today, better than yesterday. Went 2 for 3 on best bets. Unfortunately lost my biggest play, Seton Hall. I really thought that Aiken was about to play, and him being out, I think, really messed everything up. But they didn't have a chance the whole game. But happy to be here, man. Let's make some money and give some good picks.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. We've got not a whole lot of like super marquee games. We got a lot of good teams playing, but it really does feel like a day for the mid majors, which is
that's my favorite, man.
That's my kind of basketball day as well.
Yes, sir.
So I believe there are 70, count them, 70 games going on this wonderful Thursday. We have 4 of them that we're going to be talking about in the first 4 categories. Plus a couple other games that we're going to talk about in our best bets. But in the chat, if any of you have questions about any games that you guys are on, or if you want to let us know what your favorite picks are, let us know about that in the chat as well. Pick 6 as slate feels weak to me. You're just not a mid-major basketball grinder. You got to get on that. Is this Lululemon? No, this is not Lululemon. I have absolutely no idea what brand this is. It was given to me at Christmas like a couple years ago. And I wear it from time to time because it's comfortable.
Wish it was Lululemon. Lululemon's the best.
I don't own any Lululemon.
I recommend. It's nice, man.
I'll have to give it a try.
Let's hit some bets and you can afford it because it's not cheap.
No, yeah, we're gonna hit the 4-teamer in Trent's stream earlier, and then I can buy one piece of Lululemon clothing with my profits. All right, so not gonna waste any more time. Without further ado, let's hop in to category number 1.
Degenerates only.
I was looking at Ballsack State -4 against Dickhead State. Ballsacks covered their last 10 straight games, and my boy says they're a wagon.
So there is nothing more degenerate than betting on games that start at midnight Eastern in Hawaii. This is the game that this category was made for. We've got Cal State Northridge, an absolute dumpster fire of a team, traveling across the Pacific Ocean to Hawaii to take on the Hawaii Warriors. Hawaii is favored by 12.5 points at home. Over/under in this game is set at 130.5. So Krabs, do you have any thoughts on this game? Are you going to watch this game? Because you are East Coast. This is a midnight tip-off for you.
So 1,000% I will be watching this game, not only just to check out these teams, but if there's a basketball game on, I'm watching it. To be honest, I have a pretty good lean in this game. I want to give my my insight on these Hawaii games first, though, before we dig in. I'm a huge believer in that in these late-night Hawaii games, most people are usually chasing by this time of the night.
Yeah, that's why it's D-Gens only.
Yeah, exactly. And what most people are going to end up taking in these games is the favorite and the over, because those are just public sides that people like to bet, especially the favorite, I think. So in these Hawaii games, whenever I have to bet them or want to bet them, I usually stick with taking the dog, the points. And that's the same case here with Cal State Northridge. I know you said they're not great, but they're getting 12.5 points against a Hawaii team that's really just not that good. Cal State is getting 2% of the bets. They're 6-9-1 against the spread. Hawaii's 8-4 against the spread. They've been pretty good. That makes me like Cal State more. I think there's some regression there on both ends. Cal State has lost and have not covered 5 games in a row, and Hawaii has won and covered 5 games in a row. So these teams are playing exact opposite basketball, and I think that today is a perfect spot to get a juicy 12.5 line with Cal State. Give me the Matadors with the points on the road. Great mascot.
Yeah, it is. It is a great mascot, that's for sure. We don't see very many Matadors. We also don't see very many Rainbow Warriors.
Yeah, that's another good one too, for sure.
So,
I'm taking
who
the
wins
Matadors
if we're handicapping this off of the mascot fight? Who takes this? Is it the Matador or is it the Rainbow Warrior?
That completely depends. The Rainbow Warriors scares me a little bit. I feel like they have like some powers or some shit. So I'd probably roll with the Rainbow Warriors, but I think it's a close fight. Give me plus 12.5 Matadors in this matchup.
Yeah. So this is an interesting game. I hate betting on Hawaii. They've had like the same nucleus of their team the last couple of years. I watched them play a couple times last year. I think I've caught one game of theirs this year. They have some pretty decent athletes on this team for whatever reason, but they're just so inconsistent on both sides of the ball. The model actually does have Hawaii covering this game. It has Hawaii taking it by about 15, but I don't trust this Rainbow Warriors team to put up a consistent enough game to cover 10 plus, even at home, even against a pretty bad team. So where I'm actually going to go here is with the over. I think both of these teams play a pretty slow style of basketball. According to KenPom, Hawaii is 238th in the country in pace, and Northridge is 313th in pace. I just tried control effing North, and then there was just way too many teams. That's why that took so long. But I kind of like over spots, actually, in games with low numbers between two low-tempo teams. I think both of the teams are kind of just comfortable playing that slow, grindy game. And it doesn't actually hurt the offensive efficiency all that much relative to like a team like Davidson, say, going up against VCU last night. I mean, they're definitely put off by the tempo in the defense. So I'm going to take the over 130.5 here. I don't think it's going to go over by much, but I can't pick against the model, and I'm not picking Hawaii. So
got to go with the model, man. It is your model.
The over.
You know. Yeah, it's good. We're not on opposite sides in this one.
Yeah, I mean that's another thing. I don't want to be. I mean, maybe it's good content, right, for us to be on the opposite side of everything. But I don't think of it as a competition.
We're in this together. We're in this together, right. My man.
Yeah,
we're in this together.
So let's take a look at the poll results. Also, somebody asked about when Trent's stream starts. Trent's stream starts in an hour. So the schedule for this stream is for it to go from 1 to 2 Eastern. And then when we're done, we can all hop over into Trent's stream. So it looks like Hawaii and the under is number 1 in the poll. Northridge and the under is number 2 in the poll. So I'm going to go ahead and throw up the under because the under did get 75% of the votes. So chat is on the opposite side of me, even if you and I are not on opposite sides.
It's not always a bad thing. No offense to the chat, but
fuck chat. You're a bunch of squares. Prove it wrong with your votes.
There you go. Yep.
No, we love chat. We love chat. And what's up? What's up, Rico? How's it going? So let's see what we got for category number 2.
Public intoxication.
Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype.
So category number 2, as usual, we have public intoxication. By the way, we are working on actually putting together more categories, so it's not the same 5 categories every single time. We have a couple more March Madness / run up to March Madness centered categories. It's just a little bit too early to use them. Like bubble bursters is one that we have planned. So if you have a couple teams like winning, you're in for the tournament type of deal, losing, you're out. That's something we have planned, but it's too early for that.
I think Miami bursted Virginia Tech's bubble last night with that buzzer beater.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. In the ACC, I mean, maybe not this year in the ACC, but usually in the ACC, you've always got opportunities to put together some quality wins. So yeah, I would definitely not count Tech out.
Tech has to run the table pretty much at this point. They are like 2-7 in the ACC.
Yeah, that is not good, especially with it being the down year. For the ACC.
And they were supposed to be good this year. This was a perfect opportunity to win the ACC for a team that was supposed to be better. But I digress. Not going to complain about the alma mater because I'm used to it by now.
I mean, you and me both on the basketball end of things.
Where'd you go?
Well, I mean,
JMU.
My undergrad was JMU, and I went to grad school at Pitt.
Yes,
so
sir.
Not one but two bad basketball teams. I guess JMU's fine this year, but they're not going to make the
UVA,
tournament.
man.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not saying much this year.
That's facts.
We always like that.
Yep. What are we rolling with here? What's the public game?
So our big public game today is actually also an early tip-off. This game tips off at 5:00 Eastern, and this is the Wisconsin Badgers and the Nebraska Cornhuskers. I almost said like Horncuskers. That's I don't know what that is. Wisconsin, 7.5-point favorites on the road, getting 90% of the bets.
Sheesh.
And
that's scary,
especially
for Wisconsin bettors.
And especially in the Big Ten, right? I mean, Big Ten home teams are so good. Can you lay 7.5 points on a heavy public road team? If there's anything I know about Krabs, the answer to that question is no. But
I was about to say, I can't believe you even asked it, man. This is like, I mean, I love Nebraska. I haven't figured out if I'm betting it yet. There's a couple other grimier games that I'm looking at, some of these smaller games. Trying to get back to my roots and not just bet these games that are on TV. But I might end up betting Nebraska plus 7.5 in this game, and let me tell you why. The line opened up at -9 for Wisconsin. All the money's coming in on Wisconsin, but the line has moved a 1.5 in the other direction. That is a great sign for Nebraska. There's some serious reverse line movement there. Like you said, Nebraska is getting less than 10% of the money right now, which is a great sign. They're 0-8 in conference. They're in last place. They're better than this. They're facing off against 6-2 Wisconsin in conference, who's in second place. I know you guys know Johnny Davis is a bucket. That Davison kid's really good. He was actually heavily recruited to go to Nebraska, so I think this game might be a little bit personal for the Nebraska crowd and that team. I think they know that kid, probably could have went to Nebraska. So I think they'll be chirping him all game. Let's hope he has an off night. This Nebraska team hasn't won a game in over a month. I hate to say they're due, but they couldn't really be more due. They're also giving out sweatshirts at the game, so it should be a packed house. I'm really excited to watch this game. It's at 5:00. I will 100% be tuning in. Let's just pray that McGowan's comes out and balls like he did his last game. He's coming off his best game. He dropped 20 points. He's their best player. Give me the Huskers at home, plus 7.5. Don't even think about it. This is one of the easiest bets to take on the card. This game's going to come down to the wire.
So after you saying this is one of the easiest bets to take on the card, I'm gonna take the other side here.
Okay. Not surprised. That's okay. What's the reasoning?
So the reasoning besides the model likes Wisconsin here quite a bit actually. This Nebraska team is bad.
Yeah, no, they haven't won a game in conference. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, no, I mean they are bad. I think that some other schools get some discussion about being the worst power conference team in the country, but I think that if you put them all in a tournament, Nebraska is the team that would actually lose.
Gosh,
like if you threw in Nebraska and Pitt and Georgia and Missouri and did like a round robin tournament to decide who the worst power conference team is, I think Nebraska goes 0-3 in that tournament.
Wow. Okay. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't put it past me. That makes me like Nebraska even more, though. To be completely honest,
that's okay. That's okay. I'm not gonna try and persuade you into taking into taking Wisconsin.
For sure.
And
For
I will say also that this is not a game I want to actually bet on.
Okay.
Betting road Big Ten favorites with a couple very, very rare exceptions is on my don't even touch this type of list.
Right.
It's just always so sketchy. That being said, I'm actually not so concerned about the reverse line movement here. This might sound weird, but I don't care all that much about it.
Is that just in this game or is that in general?
In general.
Okay.
I think.
And I'm curious, what's the reasoning behind that?
So the reasoning behind that is I trust my process, which is where the model says to
As
go.
you should.
And if I'm getting RLM, it like say in this case I wanted to bet on Nebraska or on Wisconsin at 9, and now I'm gonna get them at 7.5 instead. I don't really care unless there's something fundamental about the game itself, like player injuries or stuff that's changed to make it a worse bet. I just give me the 7.5. Why would I not take the extra 1.5? And I know Ben disagrees with me here. Ben in the chat just said that.
There's some model beef. Gosh.
Yeah. I mean, it's not necessarily like a right and wrong thing. It's just how much stock do you put into the reasons, and what can you infer from the reasons that the line is moving?
Yeah.
And
I think the most. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
I was going to say, I think the most important thing in sports betting, number one, trust your gut always. I know it sounds so corny, but gosh, it's so much worse when you take someone else's bet or you take a bet you don't even like or go against your gut and it loses. That's way worse than taking a bet that you actually genuinely like and think is going to hit and then that loses. That's not as bad at all to me. I think you always got to go with your gut and trust yourself. Everyone's got a different methodology. Nothing's 100%. That's why this is so great. And that's why college basketball is so awesome to bet on, because you really just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to address what Ben said in the chat. He says, information is key. Why disregard more info? You're completely right. I think just in line moves in general, there is info. You just have to know what the actual forces are that are causing the line to move. If it's like, for whatever reason, very heavy public action has moved a line, I could not care less.
Okay. If it's somebody broke their leg in practice yesterday and the line moved, then
I care a lot.
And that's why you're the model guy. You're the model guy. I just think of shit in my head, and that's for better or for worse. And it makes a lot of sense why you don't really care about reverse line movement as much. So that makes complete sense.
And I mean, ultimately, it is all important. Like I'm not saying RLM and line moves and stuff aren't important. It's just we have to marry both sides of the sports betting paradigm. I mean, we like to say it's combining the objective and the subjective sides. There's a lot of things that the data can tell you that just looking at a game can't, and there's a lot of things that just your gut intuition can tell you that the data can't.
That's facts. Yep. I'm a big gut guy. That's what I'm trying to stick to today. I'm going to pick the weirdest games on the card. You'll understand when I give my best bet.
Yes, that is the truth. So real quick before we move on, poll results. People, I think not so surprisingly, are with you on this one. Nebraska got 25 votes. Wisconsin got 15 votes.
Wow.
So definitely the public fading themselves.
Wow. Yeah, I'm surprised, honestly. That's good. That's what I like to say.
So now let's go ahead and move on to category number 3.
Court streakers.
We're going streaking! Yes!
So there were a couple other good options for court streakers today, like legitimately really good options. It's typically the hardest category to find a good game for. Mm-hmm. But how the fuck could we not talk about this game?
Game's gross.
So the court streakers game that we're talking about is a matchup between two teams that played just a couple days ago. We have Northeastern and UNC Wilmington. So in this game, UNC Wilmington is a 4-point favorite at home. The over-under is set at 136.5. Krabs, would you like to tell us about when these teams played most recently and what happened in that game?
Yeah, I can, because I actually bet on it, and I look like a moron. for betting it because I took the wrong bet. I've actually bet Northeastern their last 3 games, and they burned me every single time. So let me go into detail about why I'm going to bet them a 4th time because I'm not giving up. This one's personal. Okay, taking Northeastern +4 on the road. These 2 teams played on Monday. Northeastern got out to a big lead in the first half, and they absolutely blew it at the end of the game. They couldn't hit a free throw to save their life. They looked like they were playing with their eyes closed. Embarrassing. They melted. They're going to get revenge tonight. They know this. And the great thing about college basketball is that it's so emotional. Those boys knew they had it in the bag, and they folded like a lawn chair. They're going to come out, and I think they're going to win this game outright tonight. UNCW won by 6 when they played on Monday. Northeastern's getting 25% of the bets, but there is reverse line movement here slightly again. The line has moved from 4.5 to 4. Northeastern sits at 6-12-1 against the spread, and UNCW's been pretty good. They're 9-6 against the spread, and they're 12-5 overall. Northeastern stinks. They're 6-13. They are projected to finish second in their conference going into this year. I don't know what's going on. They have the talent. They just haven't really put it together as of late. Like I said before, I've lost 3 bets in a row on Northeastern. I'm going back to the well. I'm going to bet them again until I hit a bet or I have nothing. But all that aside, I think this is a great spot for this Northeastern team. They haven't covered 5 games in a row. They've lost 9 games in a row. They haven't won since December 7th. December 7th. They are going to be. That's in my brain. That's good, which is ridiculous. I know how that sounds, but for me, that is music to my ears. They literally haven't won a road game this year. This might be my biggest bet of the day today, to be honest. I haven't placed it yet, but I'm 100% hammering Northeastern. UNCW's won and covered 8 games in a row. How long can that carry on? They're 6-1 at home, but they're only -4 in this game. I feel like if you're setting this line, you're setting them at -10. The fact that they're -4 at home tells me that this is going to go down to the wire. I think Northeastern wins this game outright. Give me the Huskies on the road.
Yeah, so I think once again we're going to be on opposite sides here, but barely.
I would have expected it, but that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah. So I think. Oh, okay. So first thing that I want to say is not only is UNCW on an 8-game winning streak, they're on an 8-game winning streak as the underdog in all 8 of those games.
Wow. That's insane.
So this
they were a dog on Monday, which that's why I bet Northeastern. It made no sense.
Yeah. So this is a UNC Wilmington team that really, kind of like people in the chat are saying, are really kind of getting along by the skin of their teeth.
Yep.
Which, thinking about that phrase just now, doesn't really puts disturbing images in my head. but that's okay. I don't think that this UNC Wilmington team is all that great. And I do think
either.
I do think that talent-wise, Northeastern is the better team. I just think that Northeastern has. I mean, they've been dealing with injuries all year. They've used at least 14 unique starting lineups this year. I don't know if in the last game it became 15 or not. I haven't looked for an updated version of that stat.
Probably did.
I think that chemistry is the issue right now for Northeastern. Could this be the game where they establish the chemistry and put together a full 40 minutes of basketball? It may be. It definitely could be. But until they prove it, I'm gonna be on the other side, especially with the team as hot as Wilmington is. Model only has Wilmington by 5.5. Not a super confident play for me. But until I see it from Northeastern, I'm not gonna believe it, and I'm not gonna bet on it happening.
That's what a smart person would say and do. I don't blame you at all. That is what Vegas wants you to do, though. You know that, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if this line was at 6 and not 4, I'm on Northeastern.
Okay, fair. You're betting the numbers, not the team, which is what you're supposed to do. That's good. It's good. This one's a little personal for me. I'm not gonna lie. I really want to hit this Northeastern bet bad.
It is. I was actually on UNC Wilmington
on Monday
in that last
game.
game.
So lucky. Did you watch it? Did you watch the game?
I did.
Oh my gosh!
What was
Northeastern
ugly.
doing?
It was ugly. I mean, I think some of what happened down the stretch might be some chemistry problems.
100%. I mean, yeah, they don't have their shit together at all.
Yeah, I will also say that I'd feel much more confident on UNC Wilmington as like a minus 180-ish parlay piece, money line wise, as opposed to betting it straight -4. I agree. I don't have a ton of confidence in the spread. But I do think that they should win this one.
Yeah, good teams win, great teams cover. Let's hope Northeastern gets it done today.
That is the truth.
Yep.
So the chat this time is with me and not with you. They like UNC Wilmington to cover. Exact poll results: 24 votes on Wilmington, 12 votes on Northeastern.
Good. It's music to my ears. Sorry, chat.
Yeah, I'm sure you're very happy to play the heel and be on the opposite side of chat.
I was surprised to hear that the public was on my side in the Nebraska game we talked about. I guess I gave a pretty good pitch there.
I mean, so what happened? Sometimes I think chat doesn't know. On Monday when I had data mining on, I accidentally threw up a poll without teams in it, so it was just like an over or an under, and 3 votes came on the under before they knew what teams were playing in the game.
They're just betting the under. Did the under hit?
They're just no, the over hit.
I was gonna say they might have known something we did.
Yeah, they're just clicking buttons out there.
Yeah,
they're reckless, wild and reckless.
Hey, at the end of the day, that's really all it comes down to is clicking the right button. I tell my buddies that all the time. The button's on the screen. You just got to click it.
Mm-hmm. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to category number 4. And I see a question in the chat about some games. We'll have some time at the end to go over some games that chat has questions about. All right, so category number 4.
Game of the day.
The ball is tipped, and there you are. You're running for your life. You're a shooting star.
So our game of the day was not so easy to choose today. Usually there's like 2 top 25 teams, like a fantastic mid-major matchup. But what we had today is none of that really. We have a lot of good teams playing, but none of them are playing other really good teams. So I think this is one that Krabs proposed. I think it made the most sense as well. And this is the game between Purdue and Iowa. So this game is at Iowa. Iowa is 2-point underdogs at home. And the total in this game is set at 154 and a half. So Krabs, what are your thoughts on this game?
I mean, you already know what my thoughts are on this game, but I'll give you guys a little bit of detail. I mean, every bone in my body's telling me that Iowa plus 2.5 is the play. At home, bet the number, not the team. And I know I break that rule sometimes. Somebody was chirping me the other day. I really do try to bet the number and not the teams. I feel like that's where I'm the most successful. And, I mean, you cannot convince me a good reason why Iowa's only getting 2 points in this game. That really doesn't make any sense to me. I'm sure you had better reasoning because, you know, you're looking more at models and actual spreads and stuff like that and putting in stuff. But I think it's ridiculous that Purdue is just ginormous and Iowa's not very big. It's such a mismatched game for Iowa. How are they only getting plus 2.5? Does Vegas know that they're about to shoot 50% from 3 or something? They might, because they do know that stuff sometimes. Purdue is one of the best teams in college basketball, 100%. This is an extremely tough matchup, though, for them at the Hawkeye Arena. That place is going to be rocking. It looks like the Sharps and Big Money is aligned on Iowa. 30% of the bets, but 75% of the handle currently is on Iowa per the last time I checked. But the line actually has moved the other way from minus 2.5. I think it's down to minus 2 now for Purdue. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
This number 6 ranked Purdue team against a middle of the pack Iowa team that really has not proved anything this year. Purdue only laying 2 on the road is such a trap. Might be the biggest trap on the card today. I'm praying that Keegan Murray can put up at least 20 points for Iowa. He's by far their best player. They've also got McCaffrey. I'm hoping that those guys can help stop Edey, who I think is like the next.
So good.
He's like the next. He reminds me of watching when I used to watch Yao Ming. Like literally, he looks like Yao Ming in college basketball. He is just absolutely dominating. Let's hope he misses a bunch of free throws again tonight, though, like he's been doing. Ivy's back. They've got Edey and Ivy on Purdue. Ivy, their guard, who's an absolute bucket, he is back, but he's got to still be banged up. He landed on his hip hard 2 games ago. missed last game. There's no way he's 100% healthy. Give me the home dog. Bet the number, not the team. Iowa +2 all day. I think they went outright. Sprinkle on the money line. That's where my head's at.
And I'm not surprised at all that you're on Iowa here.
All right, give me your Purdue pitch. What do you got?
I'm not going to give you a Purdue pitch. I like Iowa here also.
Okay, let's go. Awesome.
As much as it pains me to say it, I'm going to have to side with Iowa here.
Okay, let's go.
So awesome. Purdue is one of my favorite teams. No, they're not one of my. They're my favorite team just to watch.
They're awesome
in the country. Yeah, I mean, full disclosure, my grandfather played at Purdue, coached at Purdue on the basketball team, and he was an assistant coach back in like the 60s and 70s.
That's awesome.
And is like super active in the Indiana high school basketball scene still.
You like the smug, by the way?
I do.
Hey.
I'm a little jealous.
Throwback. That's awesome. That's really cool that you said it was your grandfather played and coached there?
Yeah,
Jeez.
so I'm very biased towards Purdue, but I like to think teams that I'm biased towards, I understand them and know them well.
Yeah, so I'm actually impressed that you're taking Iowa here. That makes me like Iowa even more because you know Purdue so well.
Yeah, I think that the last time that these two teams played earlier this year, it was a 77-70 win. First big scare of the season, the game right before Purdue actually lost at Rutgers.
Yep.
And that was it was a close game. I mean, it was a game that Purdue led pretty comfortably most of the way. Iowa made a comeback, and then Purdue kind of pulled away again down the stretch. They came nowhere near covering that game. It was 15.5 points was the spread the first time these two teams played.
Sheesh. Looks like they've adjusted a little bit this time.
So that actually sketches me out a little bit that the line has moved that much. I mean, accounting for home court advantage, it should be nowhere near.
I know it's different for every game, but typically home court is about 3 points in college basketball.
Yeah.
Okay.
So flipping from one home court to the other point should be like a 6-point swing.
Okay, cool. I mean, the fact that it's moved this much tells me that it's going to be Iowa outright tonight, honestly.
Yeah, and I think that part of the reason why this line is where it's at is just the fact that home teams in the Big Ten are so good. I was talking about this and picked against it earlier with Wisconsin. But this Iowa team is not a dog shit team like that Nebraska team is. They're a legitimately good team. They've only lost one game at home this year. And that was a really, really close game against Illinois. It was a 4-point game that was close the entire way.
Okay.
And that's certainly not a bad L to take.
No.
So I like, as much as it pains me to say it, I'm going to take Iowa plus the points here.
Iowa needs this win more than Purdue does. Hungry dog runs faster, you know? This would be a huge win. This would be their best win of the year.
Yeah, that it would.
Mm-hmm.
So, chat poll results. Purdue in the over in a plurality, 46% of the votes. Iowa and the under, the runner-up, at 22%. Number 3 and number 4 were also tied at 16%. So the chat is very split. I'm gonna go ahead and just throw up Purdue and the over since those two tied for the lead.
Okay. Yeah, this game is just weird. I think if there's one word to describe it, that line is just weird.
Mm-hmm. Pick 6 asked, so the model does account for home court advantage.
Gosh, I'd hope so. That'd be an issue if it didn't.
Yeah, it's a pretty basic fundamental issue to not account for home field.
I mean, yeah, it's one of the most important things, I think. That's why I love that.
Yeah, I actually model the home team and the away team, like, there's two completely different, like, sub-models.
Okay.
For them, so it's not even just...
I'd honestly love to see, like, what's good with your model at some point and have you, like, explain it. I think that'd be super cool.
Yeah, I could do a little medium level, not like super low level, but I can't get into all the secret sauce.
Right.
But I think that would be fun to...
That'd be cool.
Do a little model discussion. We could get data on, I'm sure, also.
He's got a model too. I'd like to have a model off and see who comes out on top.
on Monday, we were both on. We both went above 500, but I think he beat... No, I beat him. I went 4-1. He went 3-2.
Let's go. Okay.
And we
Capwise
were,
model
yeah.
reigns supreme.
I mean, the difference maker was the Kansas-Texas Tech game. Which
Okay.
was like a literal coin flip.
Yeah.
So that didn't feel like good about that.
Hey, a win's a win.
A win's a
Sometimes
win,
better
yeah.
be lucky than good, you know?
So somebody asked, can we address the Marshall and Middle Tennessee game? Yeah, that was the runner-up for the Court Streakers game. If it weren't for the fact that we've kind of both had such a strong emotional connection to the Northeastern UNC Wilmington rematch, the Marshall Middle Tennessee game would have been the one that we talked about. But we can touch on that again at the end. Maybe even
Yeah, I like Marshall. That's all I'm gonna say. I like Marshall. They haven't
of course
won in
you like
almost
the
2
team
months.
that hasn't covered in 9 games.
Exactly. It's not rocket science.
So unless we're dealing with Toledo, then it is rocket science. So let's go ahead and move on to our last category of the day.
Big brain plays.
Come on. Think. Brain blast!
So last category of the day is where we go through our favorite bets. Krabs knows what his is. I know what mine is. But chat, in order to throw up a poll for everybody's favorite bet, I need to know what you guys are on. So if everybody in chat wants to throw a favorite bet of theirs today, please throw the team and the line. I can't go and look up what spreads and totals are. And since we got like 300 people in here, I'm going to wait until I see a pick twice. But the first 5 things that I see twice, I will throw into the poll. So we have Nichols minus 4.5. I see.
Who do they play against? Are we doing this one by one, or you gotta list them all?
Oh, I'm making a poll.
Okay.
For the chat first.
Okay. Because I've looked at every game backwards and forwards in Spanish and English. I know I've got to lean in every game. So.
I literally am not seeing any repeats. Okay. UC Davis money line minus 114. I'm just gonna trust that that's what that is. I see Morehead State minus 6. 2 people said Florida Gulf Coast minus 2. And let's go Murray State minus 12. All right. So poll is up. If you don't like the poll options, you can riot. Bring your pitchforks to Denver, and you can riot. I'll just ignore you, but you can. So Krabs, what is your favorite bet today?
Yeah, I've been saying today, I'm not messing around today. I'm picking 3 of the slimiest, grossest bets on the card, and I'm going to hammer them, and they're all going to hit. I'm going to go 3-0. I'm going to parlay them, and we're all going to be rich. Here's a play that I really like. To be honest, if we didn't already talk about Northeastern, probably would have had that be my best bet. I'm not sure exactly.
You're allowed to do that.
Okay. I'll still go over this other one, though, because I want to give the people this pick because it's going to absolutely slap. Pacific plus 2.5 on the road against Portland. I love the spot for Pacific. God, they're terrible. I don't care. They haven't won since December 14th. They haven't won a road game this season. Ridiculous. They're 2-13 against the spread, 5-12 on the season, but they're only getting 2 points against the Portland team that has a winning record. That's a trap. That's a trap if I've ever seen one. Okay. Pacific's getting 23% of the bets, but the lines move from plus 2.5 to plus 2. Reverse line movement. I love it. And to be honest, Pacific is better than they've been playing. They've been missing players throughout the year, but I look today, it looks like they're all ready to go. They're finally healthy. How is this 5-12 team only getting 2.5 points against a team that's favored? I don't understand it. That tells me Pacific's about to win this game outright. They're going to get their first conference win tonight. I really do think so. Portland State, they've covered 4 out of their last 5 games, and they're 6-2 as a favorite this season. I'm looking for some serious regression in this game. Give me Pacific money line, but I'm taking plus 2.5 for this best bet. And I think that's probably what I'm going to take in my big 3 later today as well, a little sneak peek.
All right. So how does it make you feel if I like Pacific here as well?
Let's go. That's awesome. I want to align for sure. What does the model have it at?
So model has this as 67.2 to 67 Pacific winning.
Let's go. Okay, that's a win.
Yeah. I think this Portland team, their 10-9 record is pretty fraudulent. I mean, look at their non-conference schedule. Who they beat? They beat Alcorn State, one of the literal worst teams in the country. They beat like a D2 or D3 school. They beat Arkansas Pine Bluff, another shit tier team. They beat Morgan State, another terrible team. They beat Portland State in a little inner city rival. But Portland State is also atrocious. They beat Southeast Missouri State, who's terrible. They beat Incarnate Wood, who's terrible. They beat Cal Poly, who's terrible. Like I don't know if they beat a top 250 team in the country this year. So 10-9 is a fraudulent record.
The strength of schedules are night and day for these two teams.
So I like this one. I don't know if I'm gonna have action on it, but I definitely lean the same side as you do.
Word, that's good. That's what I want to hear.
So my favorite bet today is going to be Detroit Mercy minus. I believe it's at 4.5. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong.
I'll double check.
Against Illinois Chicago. So this is almost feels like a Krabs line.
It's definitely weird. They're minus
Detroit,
5. They're minus 5, by the way. Not
minus 5. Okay, yeah. No, I want to throw up active lines. That's all I care about.
Yep.
None of this giving out picks that the line was at last night and then it's 3 points away now.
Yep.
We don't stand for that on this stream.
No, it's all about integrity. It's all about integrity here.
Yeah, actionable information. So this Detroit team is only 6-10. They are at home though, and they are 3-0 at home on the season, with 3 pretty big wins. A win in conference by 25 points against Wisconsin-Milwaukee, a 14-point win against Central Michigan, and a 19-point win against Western Michigan. Those are their 3 home games this year. Their record is 6-10 because they played a really tough non-conference schedule. I mean, they lost to Wyoming and Toledo and Mississippi State and Louisville, Hofstra, your favorite Northeastern team, Kent State. All of those are really solid teams that they lost to. So I'm expecting Detroit to have a pretty nice game at home. Antoine Davis, for anybody who has not watched this team play, is an absolute bucket. He's averaging 24.4 points per game this season, which I believe makes him the #1 scorer in the entire country.
That's insane. What's this kid's name?
Antoine Davis.
Okay.
So he's the leading scorer in the country this year. He was the second leading scorer in the country last year, behind only Max Asmus at Oral Roberts.
Okay.
So I mean, he's the coach's son also, which is probably the only reason he's still at Detroit, is because his dad is the coach. But he's insane. He's averaging like 24.5 points, 5 assists per game, plays good defense, averaging a steal and a half, 38.8% on 178 3-point attempts this year, 90% from the free throw line. I mean, this guy's probably going to be, I would say, a G League.
They're saying, I'm looking him up. I'm looking him up right now. They're saying he might get drafted.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he's got legitimate shooting talent, and he's not a defensive liability.
Yeah, he's 165 pounds, which is an issue, but that doesn't matter in the Horizon League. I'll tell you that much.
No, definitely not. He might be a big guard for the Horizon League at 6'1", 165. So I'm going with Detroit. Illinois Chicago team is just not that good, so I think this is a good value here. Model has Detroit by I think 9.5.
Ooh, there's some serious value. Let's go.
Yeah, it's 9 points on the dot, actually. 75.3 to 66.3.
Okay.
Is where I have it. So chat poll is in, and it looks like by a landslide. Nicholls State minus 4.5 against McNeese State is the chat's favorite play.
Well, you guys are weirdos for that one, but let's see.
There's got to be somebody who put out Nicholls as a 5-unit times 5 more unit super goat whale max play today. There's no other reason why 26 people would have voted for that absolute butthole state play.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Or they might just be trolling us or something. But, I mean, Nickel State is 11, and they have a winning record, and they're playing McNeese State, who's pretty bad. So I didn't like this game at all. I didn't even worry about it.
Okay.
So I don't
JJ
hate
put it
playing
out.
the favorite, but
This is a
taking
JJ
the
play.
points.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking this feels like a TTP play.
Okay, well, there you go.
For some reason, loves himself some Southland Conference. But here we go. Ben says, I'm a walking bucket. Ben, you're a walking mop bucket. Just kidding.
Model beef. I'm here for it, man.
No, I have to shit talk Ben when he can't shit talk me back.
100%. What's he doing? Is he going on a date right now or something? What is he doing?
No, he's just doing other business stuff.
Hey, someone's got to do it, right?
So we've got a few minutes, about 10 minutes until the Book It stream starts up. Krabs, I don't know if you have anywhere that you need to get to, but we can, if you want, sit around and take some questions from the chat, talk about some of the games.
Yeah. Fire them away. Let's do it.
All right. So I see Juju keeps talking about UC Davis. You've probably said UC Davis in chat like 10 times. So let's talk about UC Davis. Step 1, figure out who UC Davis is playing today.
They are playing Cal State Fullerton.
Ah, yes.
I like UC Davis in this game, to be honest. It's on my lean sheet. Cal State Fullerton has been an against the spread wagon this year. They're 9-4-1 against the spread. They're 8-2 in their last games outright. They've been playing pretty good basketball. But I like anytime I see +1 at home, I love that automatically. I think, especially with the team with a winning record coming in on a better record coming in on the road as a favorite, I feel like people immediately just want to bet Cal State Fullerton, especially since they've been playing way better. But I think this is a pretty good spot for UC Davis here. It looks like Cal State Fullerton has won a bunch of games in a row. I'm about to check and see how many. At least 5.
Yeah, I don't think this Cal State Fullerton team is that good. I think I've only watched them play one game this year, and it was against UT Rio Grande Valley in non-conference play. So that was my one piece of exposure to this Cal State Fullerton team. But that game was just brick city. Like they could have built another arena with all the bricks that they laid in that game. My impression of Fullerton was some good athletes, but not a lot of actual basketball talent. Okay. I think that's something that doesn't travel very well. I think you can get away with that a little bit more at home.
I agree. It reminds me of Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State is a team that's extremely athletic, but they're tough to watch, man. Gosh.
Yeah, so I probably would lean with UC Davis as well. Model it has Fullerton winning and actually technically covering. It's got Fullerton 76.2 to 74.4.
Okay.
But it's super, super tight. And I mean, again, if we're dealing with a 1-point spread, it's...
Take the home dog.
Yeah.
Take the home dog +1. They want you to take Cal State Fullerton. Don't fall for their trap. That's my 2 cents, at least.
Yeah.
What else I got?
So, I think Murray State is another interesting game. Also, actually, first, let's talk about the Middle Tennessee State Marshall game.
Ooh, okay. How long has it been since Marshall won a basketball game?
Marshall, the last win that they got was on...
I think it was 10 games ago.
It was on December 11th.
Sheesh,
That
man.
was an 11-point win against Eastern Kentucky. At that point, they were sitting at 7-3.
So, I want to talk about this a little bit because I've been going back and forth on this game personally. I think I'm going to bet Marshall, but every time I take a favorite, it loses. So I'm a little bit scared. Do they want us to take Middle Tennessee? I want you to think about this not model wise. I want you to think about this.
I haven't looked at the model score for this game.
Okay. I want you to just think about this like what you honestly think without the model, okay? Do they want you to lay Marshall and have people think, or do they think people haven't done their research enough and they're just seeing Marshall minus 2.5 at home. Marshall historically is a better sports school. Like, do they just think people are going to lay Marshall? Because it looks like they're getting 55% of the action currently. And I'm pretty shocked because Middle Tennessee State, I think, has the best ATS in college basketball.
Yeah, so I think they're the third best team in the country against the spread.
Yeah, so
or second best. And Marshall's
I don't know if
the
I'm
worst.
psyching myself out or overthinking this. I love Marshall in this game. I love them. They haven't won in 2 months. But the public is betting Marshall. That scares me for sure. It reminds me of Seton Hall last night. That Seton Hall game made no sense. And they ended up getting smoked. And they were -6. I don't know why they were -6. This is giving me Seton Hall vibes a little bit. I might end up just staying away, but I like Marshall. I don't know what your thought process is on this.
So my thought process on this game is, I mean, first off, just my thought process on Marshall in general is I have no clue why this team is only 7-12 and lost 9 games in a row. I mean, my impression is that this is one of the better mid-major teams in the country.
Okay.
Coming into this year. I mean, it's a veteran team that returns most of the roster that went. I mean, that went 15-7 last year.
Yeah.
Finished. I mean, I guess they lost in the first round of the conference tournament, but they were probably, I mean, right up there among the Conference USA favorites.
Conference, right?
Yeah,
they had to be up there.
So I don't really know what's going on with them. I mean, actually, I know exactly what's going on with them. They can't hit a 3 for shit. They're shooting 26.5% from 3 this year as a team.
That makes me like Marshall more today because, I mean, it sounds you guys are going to make fun of me for saying it, but they're due for some positive regression shooting 3s, right? They're not going to shoot 20% from 3 all year. There's no way, especially if you're saying they're a better team than they've been playing.
Yeah, I mean, so their best player, Tavion Kinsey, who, I mean, maybe not after this year, but I would have pegged him as an NBA guy after last year.
Okay.
He's shooting 16.7% from 3 this year.
16%?
Yeah, he's 11 for 66.
Do you know what he was shooting last year? Can you pull that up or no?
So last year, he shot 41.3% on more than 2 attempts a game from 3 last year.
Yeah, so he's just in a slump.
I mean, he's in a season-long slump. He's in his own head.
Yeah. Maybe he's just not that good.
No, he is. This is an NBA player.
Okay.
He's not an NBA starter, but he's an NBA player. He's like 6'5", 200, like a pretty well-built point guard.
Okay.
Averaging 21 points a game this year, despite the terrible 3-point shooting. 5.5 boards, 4.5 assists, plus like a steal per game. So he's a well-rounded player. He's a crazy good athlete. He has completely lost his confidence from 3.
Yeah, what the heck? Does Middle Tennessee State have the guards to keep up with him?
Possibly. I mean, at least on the defensive end. Middle Tennessee State is a much better defensive team than they are offensive team. They have 5 guys averaging more than a steal per game this year. If you just go and look at KenPom, they're ranked 221 in tempo-adjusted offensive efficiency and 91st in defense.
Okay.
So that's kind of their MO. So
okay.
I think this really comes down to whether Marshall can have a decent game from 3. If they can, I think that they're a really good bet to cover. And if not, then I think Middle Tennessee State can blow them out of the water.
So Marshall's won 6 games in a row in this matchup, which definitely scares me too. That made the line make a little bit more sense as to why they're favored.
Yeah, and I mean, and this Marshall team is, I mean, it's supposed to be talent-wise probably the best team in Conference USA this year, aside from maybe Western Kentucky.
Yeah, they're 3-14 against the spread. Middle Tennessee State is 12-3. Am I overthinking this? Do I just lay Marshall at home and expect them to play better basketball because they're the better team?
Yeah, I would probably lean Marshall here.
Okay. Well, that made me feel better about it for sure.
And I just checked the model. Model has Marshall winning by 1.5. I don't know what's the spread.
2.5.
Marshall minus 2.5. I'm not concerned about that. Give me Marshall money line.
Okay. Not a bad bet. To be determined if that's on my card. It's definitely starred. We'll see.
So speaking of your card, if the people want to go find that, where can they do so?
Yeah, guys, go to my Twitter, follow me, Krabs, Krabs _bets. I'm gonna post all my plays on there. I have 3 plays that I'm muling over that I really, really like. One of them was Pacific that I went into. Another one is Northeastern. And I'll give the third one away. I'm going to tweet it out this afternoon. Follow me on Twitter. I post some pretty good content on there, and I like to respond to all you guys as well. So if you have any questions about any games, hit me up. I'm happy to respond.
Awesome. Yeah, everyone, make sure to go give Krabs a follow. I threw the link to his Twitter in the chat about 10 times, so click on it. It's one of them. And I appreciate you as well. Thank you for taking the time out of your Thursday afternoon to hop on the stream. I had a good time, just like I did last time.
Of course, man.
Yeah.
Always. I mean, I could talk about sports for 24 hours out of the day. This is what I love. You're in the same boat. I hope that you're wrong about the Wisconsin game. I'm not gonna lie. I hope you're wrong.
Yeah, I mean, as long as we're right on Iowa, because that one made me like cringe a little bit. I shriveled up inside taking Iowa there.
Yep, we're on the same side with that.
I mean, yeah, that's where we're on the same side. It's us against chat.
Yep. All right. Well, I like our odds in that case.
Yeah, me too. That's the only one that counts.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and head over to the Book It Sports stream. I'm sure we will see you on there at some point.
Yeah, I'll be on around like 3 o'clock Eastern time, about an hour.
All right. So chat, thank you all for being here. We had a huge day. A lot of people here. A lot of new follows. Appreciate each and every one of you for that. We will be back on Saturday with probably a double stream with Ben and I for college basketball and then for NFL. And Krabs, hope to see you again. Same time, same place next week.
For sure, man. And guys, check out. I'm going to do a Twitter space at 4:30 Eastern time, in about 2.5 hours. If you want to come in, give your pick, have any questions, I'm going to give a rundown of my plays. Hop in my Twitter space, Krabs _bets. Let's make some money today. It's us against the books, man. Let's do it.
Let's go. All right. See everyone next time. Good luck with the bets today. Later.